corner, we're going to talk about fast fundings. What is a fast funding? Fast funding is you have a property and you need to close probably within 7 to 10 days. Now, the good thing is that is something that we do, and that is something that a lot of lenders can do. But there is sort of a protocol of kind of a method of what you need to do if you want to get a fast funding. So I'm going to talk about 2 scenarios of why you would need a fast funding, and kind of your mindset of what you need to be working with your lender, working with title and escrow to do it. So the first scenario, you're in a competitive situation. Maybe you are competing against a cash offer, or you're competing against higher offers. So your hope is to use either a private loan or whatever you're using to close this deal faster than your competitors, either getting a lower price or just an easier sale. Or maybe you are the highest priced and the fastest closed, but that's what it takes to win. So can we help with that? Absolutely. What you need to do is ideally, you want to be pre-qualified and in the lender system before you make the offer. So if you have a relationship with the lender, you want to be on file with them. If you apply with us, you don't ever have to reapply again as a person. We have you in our system. And so, we're going to refresh your credit report. We're going to do property-specific things because you bought a property in Kent. Now you're buying a property in Renton. We get that, but your general profile is already there with us. So you want to have your application in with the lender and have them know you, and probably have that done beforehand. You're like, well, I don't have that ready. We can still do it. We can still take a brand new person that we've never met and do a fast funding, but it's just everyone has to really work together here. So what does that mean? You got to order title and escrow immediately. You need to have an appraisal plan. Now for us, we appraise after close, and some lenders don't do any appraisals at all. Some lenders require an appraisal. At that point, you need to make sure you can get your appraisal in and out in a very, very short time period, which is not always easy, depending on, can you talk to the appraiser? Can you not talk to them? So that you definitely need an appraisal plan if you want to do a fast funding. So there's different ways to solve it, but you need to have a specific plan for that. If you're remodeling the house, you want to have your budget ready for your lender, whether or not the lender is funding that rehab or you're building a home, you want to have that ready. You also want to have your entity docs ready. So if you're buying an LLC, or you put it in an LLC and you want to close it in your own name, or you want to add your wife, or you want to add a partner. So you want to have all those entity docs ready to go, whether it's the operating agreement, whether it's your EIN, all that stuff. So you want to be really organized and ready. The other thing is you want to be communicating with your lender, your funder. If they're like, hey, I need bank statements, be ready, give it to them within an hour. Hey, I need an updated credit report. Is it okay for us to pull your credit? Yes, pull my credit, I'm good. And so just keeping a really good relationship with the lender. Last thing, if I were buying a property, I would ask my lender, hey, do you guys have money right now to do, because it's a lot easier to have money ready for a loan to close in 30 days than it is in 3 days. So if you're doing like a really, really big deal, I think it's appropriate to ask your lender, hey, do you have enough capital to fund this deal? Like last month, we funded an $8 million deal. We couldn't just fund that in 3 days. So for us, if we have a deal that size, we have to kind of get ready for that. So now if it's $800,000, we probably could just fund that in 3 days, no problem. So you want to check to make sure your lender has the capital for it. You also want to make sure that they have the bandwidth, that their back office, their funding team, that they have enough people. So there could be situations where I get a call and I'm like, hey, we're full for the month, because I'm looking at the pipeline. All our funders are full. They're all maxed out, and the end of the month is just basically closing after closing. At that point, we're going to probably tell you immediately, yeah, sorry, we'd love to do it, but it's going to take us 2 weeks to fund this deal. So you want to have those open lines of communication. The second scenario of a fast funding would be you have another lender, but you kind of go down the road with them 75% or a week before close, and for some reason the lender can't fund the deal. So for instance, we got a call maybe last month from a buyer, I think it was in Bothell, and it was a really cool property. There was a lot of potential with this property. There's future development and loans in it, and the product they were going to put on this property I thought was really cool. I thought the market would eat it up. And I don't feel like they were overpaying for this property, but there was a couple of buildings on the property that were really old and dilapidated. So I think there was like an outbuilding, there was like a shop or like a barn or something like that. And they, when you looked at the pictures, it looked like it was almost like melting into the earth. And these guys didn't want to like improve those because they were like, we're going to just tear them down anyway. And we have a different plan. So we don't want to invest any more money into like fixing these homes. And so their credit was good. Their liquidity was good. All their other different requirements for funding, they checked all those boxes. But something about the property, the lender didn't like. It didn't like that there was these couple buildings that were essentially not habitable. And so they kicked the loan. So they called us. And we were able to essentially use their title and escrow. Sometimes we can use the appraisal and kind of switch it into our name. In this case, we actually did our own appraisal later. But we were able to basically fund this deal probably in 10 days and put it together. So you can't always bail out another deal, but there are situations where you can, you're going with a lender and they can't close and you have to close. And then that's why there's backup lenders, private lenders. Now you're going to pay more, you're going to have a higher interest rate. You might not get the term length you want, but at this point, your number one goal is just to secure the property and you have to close. So so fast fundings, we can do them, requires communication, have all your ducks in a row and just work with the lender. And you absolutely can use fast funding as a tool in your tool belt.